Well, first at 11, widespread destruction stretching across the southeast as Hurricane Helene's impact has crews here in New England really answering the call for help tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Glenn Jones. Helene slammed into Florida late last Thursday night as a Category 4 storm. Now we're getting a better idea of the devastation left in its wake. Streets still underwater tonight and neighborhoods barely recognizable from Florida to North Carolina and Tennessee.
And at last check, nearly 90 people have died from the storm and more than 2 million people are still without power. Our NBC 10's Mary Marcos checked in with the local crews who headed south to help pick up the pieces.
From Florida,
there's a lot of need. There is a lot of long-term recovery that's going to happen.
To the Carolinas.
Tragically, we've lost, we believe, 25 of our people due to this storm, and we don't want to lose any more.
Hurricane Helene took at least 64 lives, left millions without power, and caused widespread destruction across the southeast.
Every one of us doesn't want to have the call in the sense that we don't want anybody to be in harm's way, but when someone is in harm's way, every one of us wants to be the first one to get the call.
67 members of Massachusetts Task Force 1 got that call to North Carolina, conducting search and rescues in the state hit with the highest rainfall total, 29 inches.
We've been termed a lot of times as the Swiss Army knife of FEMA. Even to get on the team, it's hundreds of hours of training that is required.
Meanwhile, more than a dozen Red Cross volunteers from Massachusetts are providing food, shelter, and medical supplies.
It's really hard to see. I'm a mom, so when I see tiny little children sleeping in a shelter, but I have to say, I see the Red Crossers who are there, bringing them toys and crayons.
At one point, more than 1,000 people spent the night in Red Cross shelters in Florida.
What gets everybody through this is the fact that people are willing to just drop what they're doing in their own lives, come on down to Florida and just spend 2 weeks helping the Red Cross help those families.
Now, Kelly Eisner says there is always room for more Red Cross volunteers. Meanwhile, Massachusetts Task Force 1 will stay down south as long as it takes to make sure everyone is safe. Reporting in Boston, Mary Marcos, NBC 10 Boston.
Mary, thank you. And also answering the call to help, Eversource crews from New England. They left for Virginia bright and early this morning. We're told 40 linemen and 20 other workers from New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Massachusetts will help restore electricity.